I'm going to finish. Guys, if you leave it with Islam, people go to Islam and follow. The blood is going to be in your hands. You're going to be guilty.
Let's talk.
You guys,
okay, I'm going to just.
I will
I'm
talk
just
in a minute.
Okay.
I'm a Christian. You guys are going to be guilty for leading people to Islam and ultimately to destruction. You're going to be guilty.
Can be that
You're going to be guilty. You're going to be guilty, guys. I'm not going to be guilty because I'm telling people about the truth about Jesus. Well, you guys are going to be guilty if you don't follow.
Okay, so can we?
We can talk in a minute.
But you're not. You're just repeating the same thing over and over again. I'm sorry. I listened to you, but you
I've got one more thing to say. I'll let him in a minute. Guys, also, right? The Bible says love your neighbor as yourself. Treat people as you want to be treated. So treat people as you want to be treated.
Is that what Luke 19:27 says?
You just wait. So, if you not try and be in this camera and if you try and twist up a video and twist it up,
listen, we're not missionary here. We're not Christian missionary here.
You're not following God.
Can I ask you one question? Short. Jesus Christ was the last sacrifice in the earth for the sinners of the humankind.
Let's
go in the age.
yeah.
Coming to you.
1 second.
Let me know why you not vegan. Why you still
vegan?
Sacrificing?
Okay, we'll talk about that another time. Okay.
Okay.
We'll talk about that another time.
Now, so when we were talking about Luke 19:27, wait, no. I let you speak.
But let's look at it.
We looked at it. We read it together. We read it together. No.
The camera's here now.
What do you want to say?
We read before the cameras were here. Before the cameras were here. You're taking advantage of the fact that I'm younger than you. I've been respectful to you this whole time.
No, you're judging.
I'm not judging
As you
you.
judge, you're going to be judged.
I am allowed to judge based off of action. I'm not allowed to prejudice and judging off of action are different things.
But you can speak, but don't try and tell me what I'm doing.
I'm not.
If you judge me, you're going to be judged yourself.
That's okay. That's okay. I would like you to judge me based off of my actions. Please judge me based off of my actions.
But I'm looking.
Did I not come to you with respect when there were no cameras to answer your question? I never said you can't.
And look at the scripture.
It's your phone.
That's what I'm trying to do.
You have free will.
I'm trying to get Luke.
Go hurry up.
But don't speak like that.
No, it's just that you've continually cut me
Please
off.
humble yourself.
I have been humble.
And let me say something.
I have been humble.
I don't think it's a good idea.
You cut me off.
Because you don't want to know the truth about Jesus. So what's the point of talking in the first
So
place?
I'm asking you questions and you keep running off.
I'm not running off anywhere. Okay? If you say you're young or whatever, let's please be humble.
Okay, let's go. I'm ready. I've been waiting for about half an hour
And
here.
I'll say, I'm not here to debate anybody.
Neither am I. I was asking you a question.
Right, so the cameras are here, okay, that's fine. But I'm looking
The
at
cameras are here and you started shouting at them for about 15 minutes. It's true. It is true. Come on.
You're
Come on,
judging
sir.
again.
I'm not.
As you judge, you're going to be judged.
I have ears. I have eyes.
you're gonna be
Allah
judged.
subhanahu wa ta'ala gave me eyes and ears.
fine.
And I saw you and you did what you did. Can we please continue?
You're not treating people as you want to be treated.
I am.
are you?
Did I come to you with respect? Yes. Did I let you talk for about 20 minutes
being
without
respectful.
interrupting?
No, that's
Yes,
false.
I did.
Have your time.
Yes,
You had your
false.
time, right?
You've had your time.
You
You had your time,
You
right?
had this time 20 minutes. I gave him 20
You had your
minutes to
time.
speak.
You haven't given me
Are you
20
listening?
minutes.
Okay.
If you would ask me a question,
I
ask me
did.
the question and I will answer the question.
Okay. What's your question?
What's your question?
So, why is it that Jesus, the person who's supposed to be all loving, all merciful, is God according to you, is going to come and slay people? What does it say in Luke 19:27?
Let's read it. I'll read it.
19:27. What does it say?
Okay. It says, but remember,
I'm remembering.
this is a parable and it's a long story.
But stories have a meaning.
But you
Stories
want to
have
go
a meaning.
specifically to this verse. It sounds like some humble people again.
Don't worry about that.
Sounds like some humble.
Actually, those are Christians, by the way. Those are Christians.
It's not good.
Those are Christians, by the way.
It's not good.
Those are Christians.
I don't believe we should be debating like that.
Okay.
I don't believe
Do you remember how I approached you?
All I'm saying is, let's speak in love, okay?
Do you remember how I approached you?
saying,
Do you remember?
because that's
No, wait,
my
1 minute.
way.
Compared to everyone else who approached you today, how did I approach you?
That's my way.
How did I approach you? Please explain.
Okay, you were okay, but you sounded a bit interesting since the cameras are coming.
Because you've been talking to the cameras for about 15 minutes.
I'm not talking to the camera, right?
No, but not about rambling. Not rambling.
Nobody's rambling.
In the context of us, yes, you can talk. However, you're just saying your own thing.
What I can and can't do.
I'm not. I'm saying we were having a conversation and you decide to go off.
Listen.
Please, can we continue?
I'm allowed.
Okay, let's put this aside if we continue.
We can continue. However,
Can we put this aside?
However,
Can we put this aside?
However, you let me. You can speak. Let me speak.
I am letting you speak. I have let you speak.
And be respectful.
I have let you speak, and I am being respectful. That's why I'm still here.
Great.
That's why I'm still here.
It's not about being silly or not.
I know, I'm still here.
If it gets disrespectful,
I'm still
not
here.
Gonna stay here.
If I was to be disrespected, I would have left by now because you've just been talking to the camera.
If it gets disrespectful, I will.
If I'm still here, out of my respect for you.
Go on, what do you want to say?
So could you read? Sorry about that. Now, Luke 19:27. Would you like to read it yourself, or can I read it?
I will, but while I read it, I'm saying it's a parable. The parable starts from Luke 19 verse 11 all the way down.
Okay, but can we can
all
talk
the way down
we can talk about a parable, but
to Luke 27. It goes all the way down.
we can talk about the
you want to
parable.
focus on the last verse.
No.
but there's a long.
No,
a
but
lot of verses
it's just so whoever's watching can understand what we are talking
They won't
about.
understand about.
No,
You're jumping to one
I'm
verse.
not, I'm
Let me
not.
read the whole.
We
thing.
are going to get to
Someone
the.
help me. Are there any Jesus?
Sorry, man.
But wait, do you mind if I finish my conversation with them? I understand, sir, but it's just we've been going round in circles here. So so for people
I don't
to
mind.
understand, for people to understand what the conversation is about, because the people they've just tuned in. Come on.
But I know you want to highlight the specific verse.
No, but and then no.
There's a whole lot.
I
that
understand.
cameras have
I
missed.
swear to you, we'll go over that.
So-
To the best of my ability, we'll go over that. But please, just so that people understand what we are talking about.
But
Can we?
that's taking it out of context. Taking out one verse and not reading the whole thing.
We are going to go over the whole-
It's taking it out of context.
Instead of waiting for you, I should just do it myself.
Read the parable.
Instead of we just did. We went over the whole
Read
thing.
it out for the camera. Read it for the camera. It's a parable. It's a story.
Would you like to read Luke 19:27, or should I?
I can read Luke 19 from verse 11 to
We are-
27.
Luke 19:27. But those enemies of mine.
See, look.
But we are going to go over it. But people need to understand what we are
Go on
going
then.
over.
Go on then.
Luke 19:27. But those enemies of mine who did not want me to be king over them, bring them here and kill them in front of me.
that about, though?
That's exactly what we're going to go over now. That's what we're going to go over now.
I could read
Let's read the whole thing if you want.
Luke 19, 11 to 27. It's a parable.
Let's
it's
go.
a story that Jesus is talking
A
about.
story. Stories have a meaning behind
Am I
them.
speaking?
Sure.
Now, I'm saying you guys can read Luke 19 verse 11 to 27. Read it yourselves. Okay. However, it is it's a parable. It's a story. Jesus is talking about what's going to happen. Okay, when he comes back.
When he comes back.
He's going to when he comes back to the earth is going to be he's going to judge the earth, and he's going to judge and destroy unbelievers.
He's going to destroy. Wait,
Yes, he is.
repeat that. So when Jesus comes back to the earth, not on Judgment Day, but when he comes back to
You've
the
got a
earth,
different belief.
it's not a different belief.
is
You believe that God is going to judge us on the Day of Judgment, right?
I mean, he's going to come back.
You do.
and He's going to judge the earth.
No. I'm talking about Day of Judgment.
Listen, you're rumbling on about something that's unnecessary. Jesus did not kill nobody. Jesus didn't murder anybody. Jesus didn't rape anybody. Jesus didn't molest anybody. Okay.
Why can't we have a factual conversation?
I'm just
Why
saying,
can't we have a?
that's factual.
You're leaving the parable.
That's
You're
factual.
leaving the parable. We're talking about the parable, no?
What are you trying to say about Jesus? Ain't killed anybody, has he?
Jesus
killed-
said
has he killed
that he's not. That he said
When
this
he
is
comes back.
quoting from the Bible. I did not come
Listen,
here to bring peace,
this-
but I did not come here to spread peace, but the sword.
It's going nowhere.
What do I do? What does a person do
You
with a sword?
believe your Islam if
What
you
does
want
someone
to.
do with a sword?
Good luck to you.
Do you cut bread with a sword?
If you want to take
No,
other
you kill
with
people
you
with a sword.
To hell with your Islam.
I'm
that's
not.
up to you.
I came here to ask you a question. I'm not converting anyone here to
But what's
Islam
your question?
yet, maybe.
What's your question?
Why is it that your version of Jesus is saying that he's going to kill
He's going to
unbelievers?
judge them.
Killing and judging are two
Judging
different
them,
things.
throw
He says,
them
"I
into-
will slay,
He's gonna judge
slay."
them. He's gonna
No,
judge
that's
them.
on the earth. That's on the earth.
Listen, I'll speak. I'll speak.
Are
Yes,
you
he is.
slain in the
Can I
hereafter?
finish speaking?
You're already dead in the
Can I
hereafter.
finish speaking? He's going to judge
I've
them.
given you so much time to speak, my friend. I've given you
You've
so
asked
much
me a
time to
question. Let me
speak.
finish the answer. He's going to judge them. Yes, he is.
He says he's going to slay them, not
You're
judge them.
interrupting me.
But because you're not saying what it says.
It's a parable. It's a story. The
Stories have
interpretation
meaning.
He's going to judge them and throw them into hell.
But it
Now
says
let-
he's
Are
going
you-
to
Let me
slay
finish
them.
speaking. You're going to keep on interrupting me.
Because you're not saying what it says there.
Okay, listen. Take your Quran. Go. All the best. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Okay. If you're going to leave these people to hell with your Quran, that's where they're going to go.
But I'm talking about the Bible currently.
Okay.
I'm currently talking about the Bible. You're running from your own Bible.
I'm not running.
You're running from the Bible.
You're interrupting me.
I'm not.
Okay.
You're because you're not. If we're not going to have a factual conversation, if we're not. Okay, so do you want me to do? Okay, I'm just going to talk.
Good luck to you. Where are you going? I'm not going. It's a waste of time. All right, then.
I came to him when there were no cameras. I came from a side of respect. I want to hear from a Christian perspective. I want to hear from a Christian perspective what it meant in the Bible when it said in Luke 19:27 that Jesus is going to come back to the earth and he's going to slay the unbelievers. He said to me that that's okay. He said that that's fine. But the earth and the hereafter, judgment, so there's hereafter and there's earth. So he's going to come to earth and kill people. So he's just left now. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, sorry about that, lads. But he just said he didn't answer anything. He said that the Prophet ﷺ was a murderer. And
Finish the whole conversation.
oh, do you want to finish? Yeah. Okay, that's perfect. That's perfect. Okay. So I approached. Is this good? Good. Yeah. Okay, I'll finish the whole thing. So I approached him. He started shouting at Zishan and Adnan Rashid and Hashim. He just started shouting at them. I came up to him. I wanted to ask him this question because to me...
Aki, someone wants to come speak to you as well.
Who? Sorry.
Come, go then.
Sorry, it's the lights. I can't see anything. By the way, as I said, I came to him to ask questions. I'm by no means the most knowledgeable.
Okay.
I'm still learning.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I saw.
Okay. Hi there. Yeah. So you're arguing for, you're debating what?
I'm Muslim. I came to ask a Christian a question. That was simply how this started.
And why do you think he couldn't answer the question?
Because every time I asked him a question on what he read with his own mouth, he would jump to another topic. He would start saying horrible things about the Prophet ﷺ and other things instead of addressing what I was saying to him. He was saying to me that it's a parable, so we don't take it as a sensible fact. Okay, I understand. However, for example, when I was a kid, and I'm sure as well, you were told the story about the three little piggies, right?
Yes.
That's not real life, is it? But the meaning behind the story is...
Perception.
Yes, that you need to work hard for your goals. You can't be lazy, you can't be half-assed. Sorry for excuse my French, but you know.
Okay.
Now, I said from this parable, it says that he said that his interpretation of the parable was that Jesus or God gave people the abilities. For example, he mentioned singing, he mentioned being artistically creative, etc. And people who don't use those, I don't know how. Okay, so singing. He said singing. He said if you don't use singing for God, then you're going to be put to hell. Now, I said to him, but that's not what the parable says. The parable says that Jesus is going to come to the earth and he's going to kill the slay. The key word was slay. And he wouldn't answer this question. Instead of like having a civil conversation and respond to me, he started saying, but Jesus never killed anyone. This is completely unrelated to what we were saying. And I responded to him by saying, in the Bible, it says that Jesus himself says that he didn't come to the earth to spread peace, but to spread the sword. And he was like, yes, but he didn't kill anyone. But what does one do? What does one do with the sword?
You're absolutely right. Listen,
what does one do with the swords?
Exactly right. Look at Christianity, like when it got to the Middle Ages, right? It was stuck in a time warp. It didn't. Christianity up until the 15th century were working in old Roman numerals. Where do we have the Hindi Arab numerals? Came from Islam, right? Look, if I was to define Islam in 8 words, right? Islam brings restorative balance to an ever-changing world. Do you know what that means?
Sorry, please repeat that. I can't. It's a bit loud.
Sure. Islam brings restorative balance to an ever-changing world.
Yeah.
Yep. And you know what I mean by this? We have new technologies, this, that, and the other, right?
Sure. That's it.
If you look.
No. It's just the guy who's moving his camera.
Right. Okay. If you look at equilibrium balance, right, you have to look at the whole world. I mean, like, I want to talk about how you can solve things. I'm a mathematician, right? Maths is the only subject that's taught around the world there's no argument with. Religion, obviously, different religions. Language, obviously, different. Scientists will argue about climate change, this, that, and that. History, different perspective. You only have to look at Middle East. They'll have 2 different versions, whichever side you want, right? The only argument there was never argument in is mathematics. The only people who can solve things are mathematics. I was speaking to a Jewish guy there earlier, right, about the whole this, that, and the other. I've heard everyone here speak about the whole thing going to the Middle East, right?
Okay.
And all everyone ever does is talk about October 7th, this history. I've done all the history, right? I really said to the Jewish guy, I said, look, whatever happens, right, when people say that Jews have won these wars, no, they haven't. All they've won is a series of battles in a war they're eventually going to lose, right?
Yes,
and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I'll tell you why that's going to happen, right? Because if you look at Israeli strip of lands and look at the context of war and social media, right, it's better for them to get out and buy land up in Argentina. They can get 6-7 times the amount of land. Arable land, this, that, never. Now, when I spoke to a couple of people about that, obviously they're a little bit resistant. I said, okay, you want to say Israel, God's land, yeah, I promise it. Yeah, fine. But that's the geopolitics of that. Do you really want to be in a situation where you defeat Hamas, but then 10, 20 years later, you'll find another organisation that will do this and the other? All that's going to happen is eventually you will fail. And the reason you will fail, not because you're not intelligent and this, that, and the other, is because once you fail, you'll have nowhere else to go. If you look at the whole history of anti-Semitism, right, most of it has come from Europeans. In fact, virtually all of it. Would you agree with that?
Well, when the Crusaders took
Correct.
when the Crusaders took the Holy Land off of the Muslims,
Yep.
all of the Jews were slain, all of the Muslims were slain. There were even instances of this is a historical fact that the Crusader armies performed cannibalism, acts of
Correct.
cannibalism.
Yes.
However, when Salahuddin Ayyubi retook Jerusalem, he in fact not only was open, he didn't do anything to the Christians, he requested for Jews to be brought back to Jerusalem. That, so, you know, it's been for most part for example, the Russian pogroms. They did a lot of, you know, there's lots
Against
of
the Jews, that's right, yeah.
yeah.
The only country in Europe that never had a problem with Jews was Poland, right? Basically, my father was a young child when he was from Auschwitz, which is Auschwitz, right? Now, basically, if no one really knows this, right? But why was Auschwitz chosen as what happened in World War II? Nobody knows this. Even like Douglas Murray, like all these political commentators, never. I know that because it's family history. I'll tell you why it was chosen. Because half the population of Auschwitz were Jews, and half the population were Poles. And what the Nazis wanted to do, they wanted to break the entire connection that Jews could have connection with this, that, and the other. Nobody really knows that, but you can see why that was done, right?
Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
Where's
this
going?
yeah,
Where's this going? I just want to understand the context of our conversation.
Yeah, I'll go to it. Yeah, go.
No, I just wanted to ask you what the context of our conversation was. I just, you know,
I want to explain why Islam is far superior than any other ideology we've got in place today.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Without doubt.
Thank you.
Absolutely without doubt. And no one's ever defeated me on that yet. So is that okay with that?
I'm a Muslim myself. Yes.
Okay, yeah. Now I might not know all the hadiths and all that, but I know the art of war. I know mathematics and stuff.
Art of war.
Right.
Good book.
Look at Western girls now, right? Look at Muslim women, right? They wear the
Hijab, yes.
yeah.
Or niqab, you
Right?
know.
So what do?
Schools of thought. Sorry.
Schools of thought,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Look at the Western girls now, right? They're on social media. They're getting their lips big. They want their hairs chased out and ever. In other words, their minds are getting destroyed, not by their children, but by how they look. This, that, never. What Islam does, it brings an inner peace to everyone. Right. If you look at the 5 major religions, name me the 5 major.
We have Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Hinduism, and Buddhism.
Correct. The worst of them, right? The worst of them is Buddhism. Right. I'll tell you why. Because basically Buddhism, right? Sorry. Just a bit of water. Buddhism, right? You just got like one guy, the Dalai Lama, who can do what he wants, right? It's been eradicated out of China. I mean, like, they're basically living in the mountains now. So you've got this Dalai Lama, right, who goes around, he's 82, he's sticking his tongue in all these young girls. So ask yourself, who the paedophile is? He said it. Now, when people attack Islam, especially the LGBT lot, I say to them this. You get 2 villages. One's a Muslim village, one's an LGBT village. The Muslim village will have children and grandchildren, and they will thrive. The LGBT village, listen to this. The lesbians aren't going to have any children. The gays aren't going to have any children. The trans have screwed up their bodies. The bisexual might have children. The asexuals, people aren't interested in that. They're thinking, what the hell are they doing there? And everyone, so basically they have no children and they have no grandchildren. So I say to them, who's the death cult? The Muslims or you guys? Because you guys have come from a mother and father, like your mother and father all the time before, but yet you think you know best. You live in this village with no children, you're a death cult. Answer that. And they crumble every time.
Could I ask you a question?
Yes.
So if you believe that Islam is so superior, it's a so superior ideology, what's stopping you from becoming a Muslim?
I did.
You are Muslim?
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. Well, that's very nice.
I'm not a very good one. I'm just cut off drink this.
Astaghfirullah. Yeah.
But understand one thing.
No, come.
But understand one thing, right? By living in Western society, right? If I was brought up in your society, I wouldn't be drinking. We know that, don't we? But because I've been brought up in Western society where the ideology is different, where you put this over, obviously we would be drinking. Why is drinking wrong? It's very obvious. You will speak to any Western person, right? And you can say to them, they can say, why do I drink? Who's really brought up with it? But you can say to them, what is the benefits of drinking? None, right? Sometimes you argue with people. 60% of people drink in this country. 30% only drink at Christmas time, and 10% will have exactly the same views as you guys have. Exactly the same views, right?
Just a little bit.
Yeah. When Westerners say, well, we want our freedom of choice. We can't have Islam dictating this, that, and the other. I said, what do you mean Islam dictating? Islam hasn't dictated anything with the problems of drinking. Look at America. Look at prohibition between 1919 and 1932. How much Islamic influence was there in America in that time? None, or very little, wasn't it?
It was none, essentially none.
I think it was the Salvation Army or Christian groups that did that, right? But obviously they failed because they recognised, right, drinking doesn't...
But alcohol has nothing to do with religion. Keep it to the religion.
Keep it to the religion. Okay, yeah, sure.
So I'm trying to see you speaking.
Okay, I can't see you speaking, but okay. If you look at superiority, look how many denominations there are in Christianity. Look how many evangelists there are in America making money exploiting people. You only have really two denominations in Islam, Sunni and Sharia. Now, Shia, right? Now, I've looked into this, right? I've looked at the explanation. As a mathematician, right? If you ask me the fundamental difference between Shia and Sunni, again, it's very mathematical. Because one chose for success in the family and one for success by democracy. Is that right? Sort of. I don't know.
Not really.
Okay, not really. Okay, all right. But how many denominations are there in Christianity?
I couldn't tell you. Too many.
Too many, right?
Yeah.
How many denominations are in Islam? Not.
I'd say also quite a bit nowadays, but none of them are serious. There's only three serious ones. So Sunni, Shia, Sufi. Those are the really serious ones. The rest of them,
Yeah. I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
The rest of them are too small.
Okay, here's a philosophical question. As a Muslim, right? Tell me why gambling is wrong. Why is gambling wrong? Here we go.
Let's say the gambling. What do you want me to say?
To explain why it's wrong.
Do you want me to say? I'll say the gambling industry is very exploitative. It preys on people who are struggling financially. On the most part, of course, there are rich gamblers, but if you look at it, out of 100 people, 99 of them would not be very wealthy. This gives them a sliver of hope, this slight chance. It preys on their hope, their wishes to, raise their situation, and it takes the money, the already little money that they have, and it takes that from them. And that's why it's the exploitative industry, which is haram. It's bad. It's if we're not looking at it from a theological perspective, it's still, from a human perspective, exploiting people is wrong.
Perfect.
Because these are people who can't defend themselves, can't protect themselves.
That's right. And do you know what I'm going to do? What you said there is absolutely brilliant. I'm going to give you an example now. It's very simple, that we can all hear it. Imagine you have a small little village, right? And in this village with 10 families, you have 10 men with 10 wives, and they all have 4 children. One of the men's a baker, one does the horses, one does the accounts, right? You've got 10 men doing 10 jobs to function the village, right? Every week, these 10 men leave their wives behind and they play poker. And what they do, every Friday night, they'll gamble. One of them wins and the others lose. So what happens next week? Let's say the baker wins. Is the baker to be motivated about working?
Not really.
And what about the others? So what does it do to the equilibrium of the village? imbalances it, doesn't it?
Okay.
Can you see the mathematical effects in that?
Sure. Eventually, you know, if everyone has money, no one's working, that little village collapses.
Exactly, yeah. In other words, once you've got a feeling where like someone's got this, that, and the other,
Sure,
that's
sure.
where gambling's wrong.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, here's another philosophy. Let me see.
1 minute. Stop then. Welcome, viewers. I hope you liked for today's live. Inshallah. Say
I forgot to bring here.
okay, 1 minute. Jazakallah khair, Farah. Yes. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Knowledgeable Views. Inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you for your efforts, for subscribing as well. And to the viewers out there, come back again, inshallah. And to the non-Muslims as well. I invite you to come along. Wa barakatuh.